Hello, my beautiful sunflowers. Welcome back to the Sun Garden. If you are new, oh my God, a new seed has been planted. Welcome. I am your head sun in charge. My name is Tin, and today we are going to be talking about Haitian Vodou. And I know, for those of you who have been here for a while, I know you're like, Tin, you disappeared off the face of the earth for a month and now you're coming back. What happened? Well, two things. I went to Haiti for reasons. Roll the clip. Yeah. And also, my phone went out of space, and that's what I record on. I'm so sorry. It wasn't even charging, it was a bunch of issues, and I had to get another one. But this one has 256 gigabytes, so I shouldn't be running out of space anytime soon. So you guys are going to get content every week until God knows when. I don't know, until I have the money for a camera. Y'all can wait. I'm joking. No, but in all seriousness, though, my loves, thank you so much for being patient with me. And without further ado, let's talk about it. Okay, so we're gonna start off real simple. I'm gonna be using the Versed Hydrating Dew Point Moisturizer. If these people end up supporting Israel, I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, do you know how much of my Alec skincare that I've had to replace because of these? Anyway, obviously this is not like, oh my God, such a big crisis, Tin, because like I feel like there are other more important things, like, you know, people losing their lives. Like, it's just like slightly inconvenience, and I'm Haitian and I don't like being inconvenienced. So anyway, but this is one inconvenience I'll gladly take. But anyway, you know, first off, what is voodoo? You know, like, is it just as scary as you see on TV? No. And I know a lot of you guys tend to ask me this question, stuff like that. First off, voodoo is just African spirituality. Like, well, Haitians, Black people spirituality. I don't know what to tell you. More specifically, Haitian Vodou is when you Haitian Vodou is when you what? Tin, why are you stuttering today, dog? What? More specifically, Haitian Vodou was created when during slavery, not a few, but like a good chunk of like the slaves who had ran away to the mountains of Haiti, like Namonyo, right? We call them Negbaon, joined up with the Arawaks and the Tainos that were living in the mountains, because, you know, like, not everyone was massacred during like Christopher Columbus's arrival, obviously. So when they moved to the mountains and stuff like that to hide away, a lot of them had joined with the Tainos and the Arawaks, and what had resulted of like that mix of like both of their cultures coming together, you know, indigenous culture and their indigenous culture and African spirituality, was the particularity, I guess, that is like Haitian Vodou. That's essentially how it's created. Now, you know, why is Vodou important to the Haitian people, and why should it not be demonized? Well, for one thing, it's just a spiritual practice. And for a second thing, Vodou is very much a very important part of our culture. For example, when the Haitian Revolution was getting kickstarted, what had kickstarted the revolution itself was a Vodou ceremony, which we all know. It's literally in our history books. It's like Cérémonie Boakaïma. It was there that it is said that Ezili Danto had came down. Ezili Danto is the loi of the, essentially she's the loi of the revolution, and there she's also called the mother of Haiti. I'm not telling you guys what palette this is because I no longer, like, I don't support this creator, but I got this as a gift and it's a really good palette. So but I'm pretty sure some of you guys who have been on YouTube for a while can probably already tell what type, which palette it is. But anyway, I digress. So, you know, it is said that during this ceremony, Ezili Danto had come down and given guidance to the people. Ezili Danto had taken Dambala. Dambala is the loi or spirit of wisdom It is said that they came down to give guidance to the Haitian people for the revolution and give them the strength, you know, to continue said revolution. Apparently. I don't know. That's what was said. Also, other than like kickstarting our revolution, Haitian Vodou is also present in our flags. In our flag, like like on our, like they say le bleu du sang, the blue of the sky, et le bleu du sang. What? Le bleu du ciel, the blue of the sky, et le rouge du sang, like the red of the blood. That's what they say is the color, but like they're Ogu's colors. Ogu is also the like our like spirit of war, but like he's male compared to Ezri Dato, who is I think intersex. But yeah, essentially like Voodoo is a spiritual practice, which although like you can use it for harm, not everybody can, right? In Voodoo we have Loa. The Let me explain. We have 3 steps to Voodoo, right? Not steps, but like components, I guess. We have God, which is our bon Dieu, the mystère, which are the spirits, and then we have the Vaudouisans, which are the Mambo, and then the people who grew up in Voodoo, right? Those are the Vaudouisans, right? The mystère can be split into 2 types of spirits, right? And before you guys start asking like, oh, is it like, are they, do you guys have evil spirits? Do you no, it doesn't work like that technically. But we do have spirits that are capable of doing harm versus those who don't do harm. Like, well, the people who serve them don't do harm. And those are the Guinea, which are the ones that don't do harm. And then you have the Loa, because not every, although like all Loa are mystères, not every mystère is a Loa. The Loa, like the ones like the Haitians will say yo marche la nuit, which means like they walk during the night. Those are the ones that are capable of doing harm. They're not technically bad, it's just the way that they work is extremely different. For example, you have the Mambo and the Boko. There are 2 ways to get initiated into Vodou. You have the Guinea, Initiation Guinea, which is when they get initiated. Like, I don't know how to explain that initiation for you. But essentially, like, once they are initiated in the way like Guinea, like they're initiated by a Guinea pure, which is essentially someone who has never done harm, like who is from a Guinea lineage, initiates them into their families, like practices or whatever. And we call those people Mambo ou bien Uganshita. Now, the people who, well, this is all information that I've learned. So some of them may be different depending on the different parts of the country, which is why it's always best to ask an elder. I always have to disclaimer that, because please don't take everything that I say as gospel. This is just knowledge that I know. Now, that being said, the other way for you to get initiated is into a laku. A laku is essentially like when multiple, like, essentially like, I don't know how to explain laku. It makes sense to me because like, Creole, but at the same time, like, although like for those of you who speak Creole, you're like, oh, laku is just like yard, technically. But this is like a laku, like a Vodou laku can be a conglomerate of like multiple families that all live in like one big yard, and like they all form like one big like lineage essentially, and you can get initiated into that community. And once you do that, like you're initiated like essentially by Ason, which is like a laku initiation essentially. That one is just done by someone who's been initiated before you. That's really it. It's really cool, right? But that's about as much as I can tell you about initiation, because Vodou is in fact a closed practice for a reason. Now, moving on. We have, why is Vodou so demonized? Like, why are Haitians so scared to practice it? Why are why does it have such a bad rap around the world? And is Vodou actually evil? The short answer to all of that is white people. And no. I'm I'm so sorry. I'm gonna elaborate on that. I promise. That's stupid. No, but in all honesty, though, like voodoo is not bad. Just like a knife, if you have a knife, you can use it to either cut food and do something good with it, or you can off someone and do harm with it. It's the same way with magic. That's literally how it is, right? You can choose to do good with your magic, which is like what most people will try to do, is like either to advance themselves, like whether it's career, whether it's attracting love, all these different types of things, or if someone hurts you or you just want to cause harm to somebody, you can do it. Not the Guinea though. I'm so sorry. If your parents have ever told you you're a Guinea and you practice, you can't do harm. My bad, baby. That's on. I'm so sorry. I can't do much for you, baby girl. That's it. That's about it. But for a longer and more like convoluted answer or whatever, the reason why Haiti is so like voodoo is so demonized is mostly because of Western like influence. Essentially, like it's when Haiti got its independence, right? You guys already know like about how France like forced Haiti to be the one to pay reparations to the slave owners because they defeat. Chad, don't make me mad, dog. Like, and putting Haiti like essentially $2 billion, mind you, that was $2 billion at the time. Now imagine how much money that is now in debt, and how much that has crippled Haiti's like economy essentially, and they continue to interfere to this day. But that's not the problem here. Another way that they had done that is by demonization of voodoo, right? By essentially calling our practices like savagery, or like essentially like stating that it's evil, and even the image of like the zombie that you guys have now is a demonization of Haitian practices and stuff like that, right? Because let's be for real. Let's think about it for a second. What do white people really know about voodoo? It's crickets, ain't it? It's crickets. And that's the tea. It is the tea. I know some of you guys are gonna be smart in the comments, something like, of course it's crickets, 10, you're talking to yourself. I know. Don't start with me. Don't be smart. Anyway. But yeah, they don't know anything about it. And that's for good reason. Although that has affected, the Vodou community and the Haitian community in some ways, in some negative ways, but that is not the, that's not the purpose of today's video. That's going to be a video for another day where I unpack, like, how, like keeping the, keeping the practice so closed has affected, like, our own people, but that's none of my business today. That's not what we are unpacking today. We will unpack that another day. Okay. Now, even during, like, I don't know if you guys know about the assassination of Guillaume Sam, where we had like this corrupt president, and obviously when Haitians don't like a politician, they remove them by any means necessary. And Guillaume Sam was no different. And because of already the demonization of the practices before that, it was very easy for Americans to be like, well, see, they can't govern themselves. Look at them. They're savages. And give the Americans essentially reason, or I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Probable cause, I guess, to invade Haiti, which started the occupation of Haiti. And in Haiti, we call it like l'occupation américaine, or the American occupation of Haiti, essentially. All of that played a big role. Also, the easiest way to control a population is spirituality. It just is, and as long as they can keep them away from Vodou and closer to Christianity, they're easier to control. By demonizing our practices, it makes it easier for us to like be afraid of them and be afraid of the history that they hold and connect them to the reason why they exist in the first place. And as long we can want to like give it like Vodou like a fairy tale background all we want, the truth of the matter is the reason why Vodou exists nowadays is it purely exists to be against white people. It currently exists for our liberation. And that's it. And y'all can get mad at me if y'all want to. I don't care, because it's the truth. It exists for liberation, for Black liberation. And Vodou, like Haitian Vodou specifically, existed and exists for Haitian liberation. So what the fuck are y'all doing? Throwing it away. And before the Haitians come for me in the comments talking about some c'est diaspora yeah, ou comment on dit ça, ou c'est américain te fait ça en Haïti, me fait tade. Avec fréquent avec. Nous tout dit nous ça konya. So ranger jol nous, pas jouer avec. Anyway, y'all Americans don't need to know what I was saying. That was strictly for the Haitians. No, but like, in all seriousness, like I grew up in an all-girls private Catholic school, right? That's what I went to. However, everyone there and their parents practiced, and it was in the little things like don't borrow your people's books, like don't borrow your friends' books, don't ever let people borrow your stuff. You give it to them. Like if you lose something and you find it like a day or two later, it is no longer yours. Leave it where it's at. There was just so much like from the superstitions and stuff like that, and like the reasons why they fit and they mesh so well in our culture, to the point where like multiple songs, cultural songs that we had like had references to Haitian Vodou. For example, there's a song called Liman Kazimi, and like in the line of the song, it's like Baba gede bel garçon, gede nibo bel garçon, habillé tout en blanc pour la monter au palais, les habillé tout en blanc, li porte en député, les habillé tout en noir, li porte en ténaté, oh papa gede adje gede nibo. First off, Gede is a denomination of the spirits. Gedes are mistes. Gede Nibo is specifically a miste of the dead, right? So it's these little things. They fit so well into our culture, and they are there. And we can't ignore them as much as we want to. We may want to. God, do they want to? Okay? But they're there. And they exist for us. And I need Haitians to start admitting that, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I've been so in love with a darker aesthetic because it fits my face so well. I know you're like, Tin, you're wearing a bright baby blue shirt. Why are you? Don't worry about that. Mind your business. But it's things like that like genuinely bother me, right? Like with the demonization and how it plays a role in like even Haitians like being scared of it. Like for example, when 2012, like when the earthquake happened, was the first thing Haitians like blamed, instead of like realizing that like earthquakes are like phenomena that we cannot explain, and that like we it's also essentially like a consequence of climate change. They immediately blamed the Vaudouisans. They immediately did. They were like, oh, it's because it's because these people are practicing Vodou. It's because there's these Vaudouisans. It's because these people are practicing Vodou. They're not worshiping God. The Christian God specifically, not the Vodou God, obviously. And like it's one thing that's always bothered me, that like even in the ceremonies that we go to, right? Sometimes, like in some people's houses, the first thing they will do before the ceremony starts playing, like it's either like the day before they will go to church, or it's either the day before they will go to church, or at the start of the ceremony, or before they do any work, they start praying, like Christian prayers. And I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. I'm like, this is not sitting right with me. And for those who are cryptics, that's fine. Like take this as a story and keep it pushing. But for those of us who were born and raised in Haiti and who know what we saw, hearing the clacks on the toll of the houses, seeing things in the night, our parents not letting us go out on the 1st and 2nd of November, people disappearing into the ocean and then coming back like days later, seeing people with tails, labadzi. We know what we saw, and don't get me wrong, I'm literally studying astrophysics. I am a person of science. If science can't explain it, I didn't used to believe in it. But bro, there is so much that you can deny after growing up in the thick of it. You know? It's it. I'm sorry, I don't know. Child, I am becoming my mother every day. But, you know, I feel like there are some things that we now have to admit, like of how much of a role that this has played in not only our destruction, but also our advancement. Christianity does nothing but harm Haitians. And I'm not saying that like, oh, Christians are bad. Although they're harmful, sure, like to an extent. But like in Haiti's history in particular, Christianity has never done as good. Does that make sense? It just never has. And I stand by that. And y'all can like fight me in the comments if you want to. I don't care. You just have to open a history book. And before you tell me to do so, I know. I studied it. I studied it. So y'all can do what y'all want. Fight with y'all mama, not me, because I don't care. Tell someone who cares, because I don't. Anyway, but, you know. Also, that's a part of my friend Rose's EP coming out in March. I will give you guys an official announcement when it does. You guys will be seeing it all over my social media. So don't you worry your pretty little heads about that. But, yeah, you know. And I feel like a lot of the reasons why Haitian Vodou is so demonized in Haiti is because Vodou is technically like a very queer friendly space. And because of the effects of like, you know, Christianity and stuff like that on Haiti, you know, that is seen as obviously a negative thing. Haitians are very, very homophobic. And that's not something that we got from our Africans, nor was it something that we got from like Tainos and Arawak, like, you know, influence. We got that from Western colonialism. You can not want to, you know, admit it all you want. But the truth is in the pudding. We got it from Western colonialism. And that's what it is. And now it's too late because it's like Haiti, almost the entire island has no access to education. So what are we gonna be using to think really? How are we supposed to think to like change that train of thought? You get what I'm saying? Obviously, like I'm talking about this from a very privileged viewpoint, right? Not everyone in Haiti has the access to like, you know, like the privilege nor the access to come to another country to learn, to study these things, study their effects, and be able to talk about them. And I recognize that. And that's exactly why I'm in a position to critique these things, right? And as much as like, you know, these are conversations you want to start in Haiti, unfortunately, like, it's just not safe to do so. It's just not. You can start these conversations if you want, even if you live there. But at the same time, like, the most they're gonna do is be stubborn. And that's the most irritating thing of it all. They will 100% argue with you like they're in the right. And they won't care. And it's not like when I say like Haiti, like Vodou is a very queer friendly space. I'm not saying like, I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Like I'm not saying like, oh, it's like, you know, like the Lacus and whatever. I'm talking about the practice in itself. Because we have laws that are queer. We have laws that are intersex. We have laws that are trans. It is a very queer friendly, like, you know, practice. And obviously, because of that, that has affected its popularity and affected how people view it in Haiti. And that's just the truth. You know? So, I don't know what else I can say. And you guys are probably going to be like, well, Tin, again, you're giving us all of these problems, but we're not hearing solutions. Hold on, because I can't concentrate because of my ADHD, because I want to put like mascara on these legs and let them dry while I do my lips for y'all. Let them dry while I do my lips and stuff. So we can like start getting ready to close out the video. But yeah. Damn. You are fine, baby. Respectfully. Anyway. No, but seriously though, y'all can call me fat, but you will never be able to call me ugly. I'm so sorry. My bad. Y'all, I'm fucking with y'all, but I mean, I'm not fucking about I'm not playing about the fact that I'm pretty, because I am, bitch. You can try to lie to yourself in the comments, but you're not lying to me. No, yeah, but in all seriousness though, there are multiple factors other than our demonization. Obviously, the demonization from Western society is one big thing, is one very huge reason, if not the main one. However, there are other factors that continue to play a role in not just our fear of voodoo, but the continuous demonization of it. And obviously, that's not to say that people can't cause harm. And that's not to say that when you do believe in magic, for those of you who do believe in magic, that's not to say that there is no evil in the world, or oh, there's no bad spirits, because that's not the case. However, magic and the spirits that exist around us is used depending on who is using it. And to call Vodou evil is to call Haiti evil. It is to call Haitians evil. And I need you guys to understand and think of the implications of that every single time you tell people that Vodou is evil. Remember who practices it, Who benefits from it? Who benefits from the rhetoric that you are spreading? How is it affecting the actual people that it comes from? Where does the narrative come from? I need you guys to keep these things in mind. And one way that you guys can do that is by utilizing a thing in Haiti that we call tes trois passoires. Tin, can you not speak today? Trois passoires. It's essentially called the 3 filters, right? Is what you're saying true? Is it beneficial? I forgot the third one. I'm not gonna lie to you. No, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Is what you're saying true? Is it beneficial? And does it come from a reliable source? You put it through these 3 filters, and if even one of those things is a negative, don't say it. Just yep. One way? Was that it? You hear me? Okay. That's it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Because demonization hurts everyone. And the more and I don't want to sit here and lecture you guys about I don't want to sit here and lecture you guys about Black liberation and how if one of us gets hurt, all of us get hurt. Because at this point in time, if you haven't heard it enough from me, I don't know what to tell you, baby. At this point in time, if this is not something you have heard me say over and over, if this is not something you have heard me, you've gotten used to hearing me say, if this is not something that you're not making points and let it hurt, I don't know what to tell you, baby. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So remember those 3 filters before you guys spread anything. And also, at the end of the day, Google is free, bro. You don't have to believe everything you see on the internet. Shit, you don't even have to believe everything you hear from me. Just Google it. Ask people in the community. It's just that simple. Well, I'm gonna go finish up the look and come back, and we're gonna close out the video. And we are back, my babies. So, a lot of you guys tend to ask me in my comments, hey, Tin, like, or you tend to like even DM me and even send me emails and stuff, which I'm so sorry I don't answer DMs anymore. Long story. But you guys are always asking me, hey Tin, like, like, what do I do? Where do I even start? Like, like, this is not easy to know. And I understand. And unfortunately, the easiest way that I can tell you this is to ask your elders. And we all know how Haitian elders are. So I get it. I understand if you don't want to, and that's fine. But unfortunately, that's the way to do it. Because I'm not going to be sending you guys to go to like each and every practitioner you see and ask them questions. Because again, not everyone has good intentions. And that's something you have to be very careful for, like, well, about if you are going to be practicing. Do you understand me? Utadim? Anyway. So that's something you're going to have to be very careful for. You don't have to trust everybody. As a matter of fact, it would be preferable if you didn't. But yeah, ask your elders, ask community leaders you trust, and that even your parents trust. All right, because you know how high the bar is, the criteria for Haitians to trust people. So I'm just saying. Right, and your elders don't just have to be your parents and your grandparents. You have your older cousins. You have like, your aunts, your uncles. I guarantee you, especially if they lived in Haiti, somebody has seen something. Ask questions. One of them will squeal, and they will show you, and that will show you where to start from there. You know what I'm saying? And second of all, listen to your ancestors, dude. Your dreams are important. Like, they will tell you where to go. Sometimes they will bring you teachers, like knowing which ones are good for you and which ones are not is going to be a very important part of your journey. And that's unfortunately not something that I can teach you. That's something for you to learn on your own. That's the hard part. Knowing the difference between anxiety and like, like intuition. Even I struggle with it sometimes. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching my video, my lovelies. It was nice seeing you guys. I love you. Take care. I will see you guys next Sunday.